Hi everyone, this is Marjorie. Welcome to my channel. Today I am participating in the Keep It Simple Sunday Challenge hosted by Melissa Makes It DIY and co-hosted by Ellie from DIY House from Home. Please check out the description box below for the playlist so you can check out all the other creators. So my first project, I've got all of these painter sticks, and I glued them together and just added a couple other painter sticks on the back for more support. I just did not a very thorough coat of the white paint on there, and once it dried I went ahead and measured out this floral foam at the bottom, and now I'm just going to hot glue it. I do put a pretty good amount of hot glue on there just to make sure it's gonna stay. So once I do that, I have this home metal sign from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna place it in the middle. And yes, it does have those little holes in a couple of spots to where you can actually hang it on something else, but I'll remedy that later, and you'll see how I do that. So I do go ahead and put some hot glue and some super glue on here just so that it will have a permanent hold. And then I take some hydrangeas that I've had for probably about a year and some eucalyptus. The eucalyptus I got from Walmart probably about a year ago as well, along with these hydrangeas from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to have 2 or 3 bushels of each and just kind of trim them off to that way they'll be ready for me to go ahead and put in the foam. So normally when I cut the greenery, I tend to put the greenery stems out a little bit longer, and then the florals on this one I cut a little bit shorter. And then you'll see that I start actually arranging the hydrangeas first, and then I can go back in and add my greenery. Now it's all up to you on how you do it, whether you add your greenery first or you do a mixture or your flowers first. It's all up to you. It doesn't really matter. Now this is actually the first time I've tried to do a sign with the florals hanging off of it. Excuse me. And there I was just showing you I had some of this, I want to say it's 3/8 ribbon that I got from Michael's on the after clearance sale. It was like, I want to say 60 cents because it was 70% off or something like that. Anyways, I'm just going in and trying to put the florals in where I want them to be. Now I don't use any moss or anything on the foam because my intent is to make this floral arrangement so full that you can't see any of the floral foam. And that's one of the other reasons I keep the leaves from the hydrangeas on there as well, because they do tend to help hide some of that floral foam, and then you don't have to put the flowers too close. Now I know some people actually like hot glue their flowers in and stuff, but I don't want to, because I want to make sure that if I choose to keep this up longer through the year, then I can easily change out the florals on it. I really like the hydrangeas for like a winter look, and so in the springtime, if I want, I can find some really cute flowers and also add those in. So, and I play around with my florals a lot, and I look at it. I put everything in where I think it looks good, and then I take a look at it all and see where I need to add more greenery or more flowers, or if I just even need to move something to another spot. I'm not the best floral arranger, but I do try to give it a stab every now and again. It's actually nice seeing your creation come together and how nice it looks. Now, one of the things I don't believe I show is for the hanger, I actually just got a jute cord, tied a knot on both ends, and then I used my staple gun and stapled it to the extra paint stick that I used on the back to keep things glued together, and that way it wouldn't go through. It was thick enough between the the paint sticks that it didn't stick out, poke out in the front. So here I've got the ribbon, and I'm just gonna make a couple of really easy bows. Now, if you've watched some of my videos, for some reason I really struggle with some of the small bow. Not this small, but it's actually like, I want to say maybe it's the 7/8 size that you can get from the Dollar Tree. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the type of ribbon or the quality of the ribbon that makes me struggle, but I really thought I was going to struggle making these two, and I didn't. It was actually pretty easy. So I just make 2 small bows and then hot glue them over the holes, and that's all I did. I think this is really cute. It's came out really nice, and here I'm just showing you, you can't see any of the floral foam. So on to DIY number 2. Here I'm going to make a lantern, and what I did is I initially had, let me see, 6 1-gallon paint sticks that I cut in half, and then I'm going to glue them together, and I'm going to use these 2 craft sticks that it's like the 20 pack from Home Depot for like 99 cents. They're pretty big. It's like the quart size paint stir sticks or something. Anyways, I just glue those together. Now, I don't know if you guys are like me, but when I'm gonna craft something, like I can envision it, like what it's gonna look like in the aftermath, and I can kind of see what I'm gonna use here and there, but I don't have everything laid out. So this was actually just some wood that I had got from Home Depot that I just cut down, and here you'll see I'm trying to, my plan was originally to have the base and the top of the lantern look like those 6 painter sticks that you see, and then I was just going to glue these onto each of the corners, because that's what I was measuring with before to make sure that it was wide enough to cover it. But then I was like, I don't like that, and then it dawned on me, well duh, you know, to take the other half of the paint sticks that I cut off and glue those directly on top. That would actually give me a more sturdy base or top, and it would give more of a surface for me to be able to glue the sides of this portion onto. So and I don't show it on this one because this was the first part I made, but on my second one, what I did is I actually lined the middle in between the paint sticks with the little small craft sticks. I actually lined it to make it more sturdy. And then I think I actually end up using this one for the top instead of the bottom. So then I'm just measuring, trying to figure out where I need to place everything. And here, all I use on here is the Gorilla glue sticks. And I tell you, that darn thing is really strong. I love it. It's the best glue sticks I have ever used, and I honestly have no desire to even try any other ones. I know a lot of people use the Surebonder, but I don't know how that works. I just really love Gorilla Glue products because it really holds up very good. Now, as you see, I'd measured out some of the flat slats, and I'm just gluing those on. The worst part for me is actually the measuring. As you can see, there is for some reason this didn't measure up just right. It's like I took a little too much off of this one piece, but well, I end up making it work anyways, so I was quite frustrated. And I'll just keep that to where that's on the back of the lantern so you can't really see it. And really, you could use this as the top, sorry, for the side. You could use it, you could have attached to the lantern either way if you wanted to dip in your base, or if you wanted more of a platform on your base. It just really depends. So then I've had these brain teaser cubes. It actually comes all stringed together, but I just cut the string off and pulled the beads off, and I'm gluing them together because I'm trying to use this as part of the decor piece for the handle. And I just make sure that all the pieces I glued on is where the holes are going to be hidden. You can't see any of the holes. And just, of course, just like a lot of other Dollar Tree products, not all of them are the same size or the same fit, so it wasn't too bad. It was not that off, but in the end, excuse me, I'm so sorry. In the end, everything turns out pretty good. And I really like the product. I've had these little cube things for like forever and just have never known what to do with them, but I figured I could use them for something at some point in time, so it all worked out. And so this is a shower curtain rod. It's made of plastic. Not shower curtain rod, it was shower curtain ring. It's made out of plastic, real easy to take off. And as you see, I just put it on there, and I'm actually going to super glue them in on both sides. Real nice and easy. It was very easy to work with and bend. So here I've got everything glued together, and I actually spray painted it all black, and I made a little bow on the top, which I think this lantern turned out really cute, especially for the first one I've made. Now for my third and final DIY, I'm going to make a wreath, and here I'm showing you a section between those crossbars, and I've put 3 chenille stems on each section, total of 18 chenille stems because there's 6 sections. Now this is 10-inch Deco Mesh with 10 yards or 30 feet. And so what I did is, since I have 2 of these rolls, what I want to do is take one, and when I multiplied the 30 by 12 to get how many inches, 360 inches, and then I divided it by 9, which would be half of the wreath, and it gave me 40 inches. So I cut each strip at 40 inch, and then I'm curling up each end. I clip the first end, and then I go back and roll up the other end, and then do kind of like a cruffle, where it's a ruffle and a curl at the end, and it's they turn out really nice. It's really good for mesh that is frays really easy, but this mesh actually is from, and see this here I'm showing you is half of the wreath, so, and then this was the full wreath. So I actually got that Deco Mesh at Joann's, I want to say 70% off after Christmas. So here I'm just attaching the tails, and I'm clipping the end off because I'm actually going to give this to somebody, and so they don't, I don't need to roll it down or curly cue it. I just want them hid. And you'll actually see in the final reveal that I actually changed the green ribbon. I didn't really like it on here. I thought it was too much green, so I actually changed it to this other black and burlap colored. So I cut them at 14 inches, dovetailed them, put one on top of the other, pinched it in the middle, and then actually folded it into the V shape to help make it easier for me to put into the chenille stem. And I actually did 15 tails on this because one side I'm going to put a big bow, and I don't really need to put the ribbon tails underneath the big bow. So here is me with my deluxe easy bow maker. If you want one, I purchased mine off of Deco Exchange. It was pretty inexpensive. I want to say at the time that I bought it, it was like $15. So I have arthritis in my hands, and sometimes when I craft a lot, my hands start hurting, and so that's one of the reasons I bought this bow maker, because it does make it a lot easier for your hands. So all I'm doing is just making these big loops and tails on here. The tails that are going closer to me, the longer ones, they measure at 14 inches, and then the short ones at that are away from me, those measure out at 7 inches. So I measured out the 18 inch. Now I measured out a 6-inch loop and made another 6-inch loop, and now I am measuring out my 7-inch tail. And that's pretty much all you do. You just alternate. Very simple, very easy. You could definitely do as many loops as you want. You could do one loop of each ribbon and just keep layering that, where you have less loops, more tails, or you could do as many loops as you want to do. But it's very, very easy to use. The only thing that was difficult for me to learn was or actually get used to, not really for me to learn, is how the ribbon twists. It can twist a lot when you're actually spooling it off the roll, but as long as you kind of keep it in a fashion where it's not that troublesome to you, then it's actually really good. And definitely, if you're new to making bows, I will say get good quality ribbon. You have to. It's an absolute must, and it needs to be wired ribbon. Some of the Dollar Tree ribbon, while it's really cute and inexpensive, it's got like a satiny finish to it, and it's just not as good as quality to make bows, and so they don't necessarily stay fluffed as well. And then even too, some of the cloth material like these are so thin that it can be difficult sometimes for your bows to stand up real nice and pretty when you're making your bows. So do be selective. At least try to be. Like for one, I do not use satin ribbon, and here I'm just making the little centerpiece for my bow, the center loop. But yeah, I don't use any satin ribbon, and I really try not to use any Dollar Tree ribbon, although some of their ribbon is pretty good. You just have to you have to learn how to feel it and be able to tell if it's going to be good quality or not. But again, some of the ribbon from the Dollar Tree is good, but I always have to test it out first. And then a really good place to buy ribbon, and they have a lot of sales that are 10, 20, 25, 40% off of Deco Mesh and ribbon, all kinds of stuff. They've got sales going on all the time, and that is at Craft Outlet. It's amazing. That is my favorite place to get my wreathing supplies. Very nice. They do give kind of like a money back incentive. You spend so much money, you get points off, and then you can use it as dollars off of what your next purchases and stuff. So it keeps track of it for you in the system. It's pretty cool. So here I've just attached my bow onto the wreath, and I've got to really fluff out all these ribbons, all the loops, make sure everything looks nice and full. Make sure you get the ones at the bottom, because those like to hide sometimes. And once I get all the ribbon fluffed out and in the location that I like it, then I'll go back and I'll dovetail those tails. Basically, you'll see how I do it. Just fold it in half and cut it at an angle. And it gives you those little dovetails, fishtails, whatever you want to call it. Super, super cute and nice. On those little tails, you do want to make sure to go back and curve them. Make sure they're curved and full. And here's that little cute love sign from the Dollar Tree. And I think this turned out perfect. So thank you for watching. Please remember to go to the playlist. And you guys have a very blessed day.